super fight coming up this weekend. This is, I guess, the start of a new chapter for you guys as the Clout Couple. We just had the heel turn on Hammerstone a couple of weeks ago. It seems like there's a lot going on for you guys right now. I guess just your overall thoughts on where you're positioned with MLW at this time.
Heel turn, I love that. I think our positioning within MLW is quite appropriate. You know, we finally came together on screen or whatever the case may be. You know, it broke the internet, right? Like it was probably everywhere. It was the most talked about MLW segment in the history of MLW, and that's not a lie. And it's for good reason too. I mean, you put two stars on screen in Hammerstone, that's what's going to happen, you know. And we made some noise, and now we're doing interviews with fine gentlemen like yourself. Which, by the way, that's a hell of a mustache you have.
Thank you. Grew it myself. For you guys, like this is obviously a long time coming. Like this has been, it's been quite the arc over the last little while. The start with the dynasty with MJF, he leaves. It's you and Hammerstone against all of Mexico, it felt like, and now you are entering into this next chapter. When you're a part of something that's been going on and kind of building for that long, as a performer, what's that like?
I mean, it's a rush. But for me, it's always, you know, what's next? I always look 2-3 steps ahead. I mean, any wise businessman does, right? You don't live in the quarter that you're in. You think about, what are we going to do next quarter and next quarter? That's just how you operate. That's just how I operate in my mind. So for right now, I mean, it's just enjoying the ride, but knowing where I'm going.
And now, Alicia, you get kind of involved in this. You guys obviously have had a lot of interactions versus the backstage interviewer, and now you are front and center in one of the bigger storylines in the company. I guess for you, that progression, what's that been like?
Just feels like I'm where I belong now. Before I would just be in the back, and it would always aggravate me so much just standing there listening to everybody else, knowing I could do so much more and so much better than them all. So the fact that now we're not only in the spotlight individually but together, I think it's incredible. So I'm just ready to continue to speak my mind, say exactly what I'm feeling, and show everyone the true Clout Couple.
When you're interviewing someone, is that like you have I was going to say a live microphone. That's not necessarily always the case, but is there a couple of times where it's like, this fucking guy, like could you just shut up and let me take over? Is there a few times with some of these guys?
Every interview, every single one. Like, right. Just shut the hell up. No one wants to hear what you have to say. Nobody at all. Let me talk some more. That's what gets the views. That's the draw for MLW. So yeah, every single time that crosses my mind.
I'm assuming that's happening now as well. Like right now, you just want me to shut up, let you two guys go for a little bit, and then that's it.
One could say that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love for this to end early and you know, get out of here, go get some coffee with my girl. But we promised this interview, and we shall do it.
I guess one more for Alicia here. How does the from a technical standpoint, how does the day-to-day change from being like show night coming up on the 26th, instead of doing some of the interviews, you're now front and center? How does that change the day for you, I guess?
Honestly, it's just walking into the building, still speaking my mind, still saying what I want to say. It's kind of the same schedule in terms of showing up. It's just now I really get to show the world the real me. So that's kind of the only real change, is just not having to hide behind anything anymore. No more BS. It's just putting it all out there, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Now, Richard, we've seen a lot go on with you over the last little bit with the stuff over in Mexico. We've seen you wrestling luchadors. We've seen you in kind of death match type matches. We've seen you with luchadors in death match type matches. How has it been for you to kind of showcase your style in a number of different ways of wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, I've always known that I've had an extraordinarily adaptive style of wrestling. Like, you know, one thing I do, I don't know if I hate it or if I just don't love it, is how many times people are like, I'm a this wrestler, I'm a that wrestler, I'm a technical, I'm a brawler, whatever the hell that is. I really don't care about those connotations. I don't care about those adjectives. They really mean nothing to me. But what I know is that I can get in the ring with any of those styles and just do me. I think what I do and what I bring to the table is the most authentic form of professional wrestling that there is. You know, I stick to the fundamentals. One thing I do say is that really anybody can do what I do in the ring, right? But nobody can do what I do the way that I do it. And that's always been the most important thing for me.
Does that confidence kind of develop over time? I would imagine that's not something like night one, like, okay, bring everyone on. Is that something that's developed? And was there kind of like a light bulb moment for you where it's like, oh, okay, I can do all of these things and I can do it better than everyone?
Yeah, I mean, listen, confidence is something that I believe that you are born with intangibly, but it also is developed, right? Any skill in life, in business, in wrestling is developed. You never stop developing, and I'm wise enough to know that. And listen, my confidence grows daily, daily, match by match. You know, moments within the match, my confidence grows, and that's just kind of shows the kind of performer that I am, and the growth that I've had within this company and within life. And that's just what I do. That's what Richard Holiday does every single time I walk through the curtain.
And now, Alicia, you've obviously gone through a number of different, I don't even want to say changes. You have your hand in a lot of cookie jars, whether it be stuff with Knotfest, a number of other different ventures, and MLW is kind of a full-time wrestling thing for you. What drew you to MLW? Because I feel like you would have had kind of your pick of the litter with a few different operations.
Yeah, I've been with some other brands where they really want you to just stick to exactly what's on the paper. And that's just not my style. I love being able to actually interject who I am into things. And with MLW, it is gritty, it's raw, and they always let me speak my mind. Other spots, I'd say, hey, I think this can work a little bit better. And they look down on me. And I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. Luckily, that has not happened within MLW. And now there's no way that'll happen because clearly they know this is money.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You don't get the clout couple name by accident, right?
No.
And I guess for you, like, or for both of you guys now, what was some of the stuff that we've seen with the Azteca Underground and things like that? There's been a bit more, I guess, for lack of a better term, acting. Like that there's been a bit more performing going on than just, hey, this is what's going on in the ring. That there's some more serious roles for both of you. Is that something you enjoy and would like to do more of?
You know, in the sense of what, like
I guess the thing that comes to mind is that last moment on MLW Fusion this week with Dario Cueto, where it's a dark lit room, you're yelling at a security guard, you're sitting down, you're hammering on the desk, you're getting a bit more serious. Is that kind of stuff that you would like to do more of?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I enjoy, you know, things like that. I love when, you know, when the cameras are on me, and then any moment like that, you know, to have a bit of more of a stage presence. And my apologies, but yeah, I mean, that's what I love. I love doing that. I mean, she's so good at it. She's fearless on camera. Obviously I'm fantastic. So, you know, things like that, you know, really highlight who we are, who the couple is, and what we do, so much more than beyond just what's in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
We can do anything.
And now it does seem like that there's something set up here. You and Hammerstone, it's going to have to happen at some point. I would imagine the strategizing for that has been going on for a long time. Hey.
Well, listen. Anytime you put flames under a pot of water, it's going to boil. So you know, we'll see if it's a slow boil or if it boils quickly. I'm not so sure. What I know is that I've separated myself. I've made my intentions perfectly clear. I held the MLW World Championship over his carcass. I had my girl by my side, and it was the biggest moment in MLW history.
And Alicia, you've kind of stated that this was something that was building for a while. I guess the satisfaction when that actually happens must have been rather intense, I guess, for you, hey?
Oh, it felt absolutely incredible. Just seeing him there with the title, it just felt right. It's what should have been from the very beginning. So whether it is within a month or if it takes far longer, all I know is that it's going to end up being his. And when that moment happens, it's going to make history.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. Again, coming up, MLW, it is Super Fight, February 26th. Richard, you have a match with Alex Shelley. I would imagine we will see you somewhere involved with something with Alex Hammerstone as well. I would imagine that the planning's been, there's been a lot of strategy sessions, I'm assuming.
Yeah, listen, imagine what you would like. Yeah, as a consumer, you have every right to do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, one last one for you. I had Rich Van on here last week, and we actually brought up MLW and you and talked about your trainer, Paul Roma. I guess before we go, a couple of thoughts on someone who both Rich Van and I kind of agreed, an underrated figure in the world of professional wrestling.
Without question. Without question. I mean, the tutelage and the knowledge that Paul gave me is invaluable. I mean, he is the man. He is still a mentor to me to this day. I love him, like a father figure. And just speaking on his career, entirely underrated. I mean, you know, so much of today's wrestling is predicated and based on what you can do from bell to bell. If Paul was in today's age, my God, I think he'd be probably one of the biggest stars in the game. So, you know, he's just fantastic. I can't say enough about Paul.
If people want to find you guys on social media, I'm sure if they're watching this, they have found you already, but for the few who might still be lacking, where can they find you guys?
First off, if you lacking are idiots, so all you have to do is go to your Google machines and search most marketable, or Alicia too, to click that follow button and just follow this wild ride we're about to go on.
Looking forward to watching the wild ride. You guys are so much fun to watch on a weekly basis. I can't wait to see what happens next. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.